Jasmine rice is one of my favorites, believe it or not. I'm going to take 1 cup of jasmine rice, put it in the rice bowl, because it makes 4 servings. It requires rinsing. And it requires only 1.5 cup of water for boiling. So I'm going to pour 1. That's 1 cup. And this is a 16.9 fluid ounce of Zorka water. And this is a 1/2 cup. So, you know, 16 ounces is like 2 cups of water. If you didn't know, now you know. I'm going to let this boil. I'm going to sit this rice over here until this comes to a boil, and then I'll add and stir. Okay. While I'm waiting on the water to boil, what else I want to do is I want to dice up these tomatoes, because this is going to be in it for another dish. But I want to go and get it out the way. I need a small knife. These are called cherry tomatoes. They're organic. What I'm going to do is put this in a bowl for later. I already have my onions diced up. Rinse my board off. With hot water. I'm going to come back and put my lid on, because this is for a dish later on, and this is for a dish. I could chop these up a little bit more, but I'll wait till later to chop them up. Okay, now my water is coming to a boil. I'm going to pour a little water in here, because I want to make sure I get all my rice. Okay, I got all my rice. Set that bowl over here, and right here, this is going to come to a boil. I'm just going to stir it once. Oop, wrong lid. I misplaced the lid, so I don't know what happened to the lid, but I'm going to use this temporary. But it's a lid missing. There's a lid missing in the house. It goes to this one. So while I let this boil, I'm going to sit over to the next eye and turn it on and let it cook. Okay. While this rice boils, I also want to open up these broccoli florets. One bag for 1 cup is 4 servings. If we only ate what the serving said. So I have 8 servings so far. Then I'm going to put this cup of water in here. The rest of this is a cup of water. I'll put this lid on it. I'm going to throw away everything that I use. Just put this rice up. That's in the trash. And so now, gotta make a basic for the rice because I misplaced the lid for this one. So while this steams and cook, I'm gonna set this bowl aside for right now. And then I'm gonna set these sweet potatoes here. One thing I did forget to see is, where is my peeler? Voila, I found my sweet potato peeler. Okay, these are little odd, little awkward shaped ones. gonna check on my rice. I'm just gonna stir it to make sure it ain't sticking. Place the lid back on. Then I'm gonna cut the eye down to 2. Then I'm gonna cut the water off, the eye off, and let the rice cook on its own. Then I'm gonna slice it in circles. So I'm gonna use this multi-purpose bowl that I've made. They said it's a rice bowl on Temu, but I use it for multiple things. You can still rinse other vegetables off with it. So I'm gonna sit these in some water. Rinse them and sit them in some water. That prevents browning. Since I'm not gonna cook them now, I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator. Put them in the refrigerator. And I'm gonna let you see the rice. Might need to get a towel. Handle's a little hot. That's the rice with a lid on it. Letting it cook by itself. Then I'm gonna place this one over here. Cut this out. Then what is next? I have cream of chicken and cream of mushrooms. I need my bowl. But before I use my bowl, what I do want is the some of these things I don't want the stem on it. The lower stem. If it's a lower stem, like this is a lower stem. So I'm gonna cut this stem off. So I'm just going through here. It's not hot water, so it's still steaming. I just want the florets part. It say florets, but it gave me more stems than florets. to do is drain the water because I don't want it cooked all the way. I just wanted to get some of the frostbite off. So I'm draining it to get the water off. Move, little girl. I want to make sure I get as much water off as possible. Then now I can dive deeper into the florets. Well, I guess I'll leave these crumbs for you for the pooch. I let it cook a little. But what I want to do is go through here and get as many of these little hard pieces off as I can, the stem, because it's going to mess. I'm not going to say it's messing with the dish, but I just prefer this not to have the lower stems. And these probably what I'll give the dog is this, what I'm cutting off. It's a vegetable. Okay. Some people leave the whole stem in there, but I don't want the whole stem. Sometimes you end up with a bag full of stems rather than the broccoli, the whole broccoli. But these are supposed to be florets, and I'm cutting a lot of stems off, I see. Okay, that should be enough. Picking up the stems, putting it in this little pot. Slide this over for the rest of the cup. This board out. Okay. I'm going to put in the cream. And need a spatula. If you have a smaller one, the better. I'm going to try to get as much as all of the stuff out. Some people will mix it with water or milk to get all of it out. I always taste stuff. I'm going to stir these up like this. The flavor of the broccoli. Then I'm going to open up the cream of mushrooms. You can also get a spoon. Try to spoon everything out if you don't have a small spatula. mix it up. Now the rice. I'm going to add the rice. Leave some for the pooch. I'm always wasting something. You always, if you waste something on your eyes, get it off. So it won't be smelling burnt. Okay, that's all for right now. So what you're gonna do is mix it up. Some people would like more florets, but our family is more of a rice family. They love rice. Then we're gonna add the cheese. So let me go throw away what I've already messed up. And here's another bag of cheese. These are 8-ounce bags, so you can just really get one 16-ounce. You just stir. In to make sure it's evenly distributed. Some people add milk to coat it, so I'm gonna put a little milk to make it coat. But I'm gonna use the coconut milk instead of my regular vitamin D milk. I'm just gonna use a half. And I'm gonna mix well. Then, some people add a little salt. Some add a little salt. About 2 pinches. That's my dog back in the food. Okay. And then some people add a little pepper. I'm going to add a little pepper. Not much. You can use paprika, whatever you choose. You just want to spice it up a little bit. And then you just found a dish to put it in. Bake it on 375. Place it in the dish. These are red onions. I'm going to cut them up in little small chunks. Small as I can get them. Okay, I did the red onions. Now I'm gonna do the celery. I did not know I had that on. Always make sure your eyes are off. Then freak accidents won't happen. Okay, I chopped all the celery and red onions. I'm gonna place it into this bowl. Okay, I have 2 eggs. I have 1 pound of ground meat. It's 100% pure ground meat. 8% lean, 20%, 20% fat. I'm gonna throw this in the trash. It says the container serves 4 people. 1 pound, 4 people. You can use this, or you can do what I'm finna do with my hands. Just make sure your hands is clean before and after. You want to squish it all together. Mix all the onions, the celery, the eggs. You want it to make sure it's blended well. Then I want to add this, the cherry tomatoes. You can cut them up whole, you can. You can cut them up whole. But you want to squish. And for the seasonings, you want to add your little salt. That's kosher salt. You want to add your little black pepper. And I'm going to add a little coriander. Add a little chili powder. Now the sweet potatoes. I'm going to rinse this off. This is going to put a little water over the top. I'm going to cut the eye on high. I need to change. I'm going to place the lid on top of the sweet potatoes. Got it up high so it can boil. This is the broccoli casserole. Broccoli, rice, cheese casserole. I'm going to add, I almost added coconut without looking. I'm going to do the, add some more cheese on top. And I'm going to place it back in the oven. For like 30 minutes. Now let me get to my next thing. My mother usually have done it. This is a meatloaf. You can make different variations of meatloaf, but this is mine for today. Usually I would have green onions chopped up and tomatoes and different other stuff. So today I got red onions and celery and cherry tomatoes in it. But what she always did is add bread, toasted bread with the eggs. And you want to break it up. But I'm using a bun that we had because we didn't have any more wieners. We had 2 buns left over. So I'm going to break these up finely. This is like a filler. It's called to help hold the meatloaf together. And so back in the day, they would use crackers, breadcrumbs, no different than they use in dressing. So what I did is I toasted this bun and to give it a crumbly effect. And so I'm just breaking it up as finely as I can. And when you don't have tomato sauce, some people know how to make their tomato sauce homemade. I do too, but maybe one day I'll show that on a later video. But if you have spaghetti sauce, you can use spaghetti sauce. You can doctor it up with salt and pepper, garlic, the spaghetti sauce. You put the stuff in there to make the seasonings to give it a authentic taste. Instead of mashing it, I'm gonna blend it with my hands. Because I want all the ingredients in here. You can use bell peppers. We've used bell peppers in our ingredients before. I'm gonna wash my hands with soap and water because I held my hands with meat, raw meat. Okay, now let me throw my mess away. Put the bag in the trash, and what I want to do is kind of wipe my cabinet down a little bit. I want to get some of the excess crumbs off the cabinet. Okay, what I want to do is rinse my can off. Now, I'm going to open this can up. I don't have time to experiment, but I'm finna do it the way that I've been doing it. I know there's more than one way to open a can. Okay. I'm gonna put my seasons in here. This is garlic powder. And I'm gonna put some salt. Pepper, black pepper. I'm gonna put some salt. I'm gonna put some chili pepper. Then I'm gonna put this tomato paste in here. Not tomato paste, spaghetti sauce. Leave half of it in there. I'm gonna stir this well. Took some of that tomato out. I'm gonna pour it in here. Not all of it. Just some of it. I'm gonna mix it again. To make it moist, I want to make sure all my ingredients are in there. Try to form it in a ball to get all the ingredients in. It's possible. Then I'm going to place it in this container right here. I want to make sure all my ingredients is out. Then you're going to form your shape of a meatloaf. You're going to cook this on 345 degrees for 45 to minutes, 35 to 45 minutes, and then you're going to place the other topping on top. Back to the sweet potatoes. I'm draining the water off. Drain it completely off. You can save the sweet potato water and use it for your plants. You try not to overcook the sweet potatoes so they won't be too soft. And so the next thing you need is brown sugar and butter. You can use white sugar. Sometimes people use both. Sometimes people use one or the other. But you're just gonna spread the butter in here. As much as you can. Diamond, stop turning up my flower pots. I can hear my dog outside into stuff. So I'm placing the butter all throughout here. Diamond. I'm not playing with you. And of course, the sweet potatoes are hot, so they're gonna automatically melt. The butter's gonna automatically melt unless your butter is just ice cold. Okay. Then what I'm gonna do is take a half a cup of brown sugar, or either 1/4. It's your preference. You wanted to make sure it's broken up, and you're just gonna sprinkle it. Sometimes large bits come out like that. I just usually do it like that. You just want to make sure the sugar is spread equally all throughout. Okay. You can add a half a cup or 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of brown sugar on here. That's your preference on how sweet you want it, how you want it to glaze, but it'll glaze just with brown sugar alone. I'm gonna turn it back on medium high. I'm gonna place the lid back on, let it simmer for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna take it off. Take the eye, make sure the eye is not still cooking. That's one thing you don't want the eye still to continue on cooking. Place my extra butter in here. You're always doing something down. You're gonna see it getting to cook. It'll all melt down. All this sugar, you can just break it up. So I'm breaking it up, the clumps, to make sure it's evenly glazed all throughout here. And the butter in the steam is gonna make it into a glaze. And so that's why I keep the lid on, to make it give that flat effect to keep the steam inside. Now, this is the final results of, I usually lift it up, so I want you to see how it has started caramelizing. It should caramelize. So when it is done, it will automatically have a caramelized glaze. Instead of putting the lid on, I'm just gonna keep it tilted to let the steam flow on the opposite side. I'm gonna cut it down on low now. And just let it cool down on its own. Now this is one of my favorite treats. I posted, but I didn't go through the whole process. Now I want to say this. This is Amazon's, I believe, but it's fruit cocktails. But I normally get the name brand, or I either usually cut up fresh fruit. That's the best kind, Amorosa, when you can cut up apples and you add grapes, you add you can add bananas, you can add pears, peaches, cherries, cut them up and dice it up real good. Sometimes they're good even with big chunks, but today I'm just doing a small one. I'm opening it up, but what I am going to do is drain the juice. You never leave the juice on there. So what I'm doing is draining the juice out of the can. This is a 15-ounce can. And so, of course, it's more juice than it is fruit. So with this 15-ounce, really, it may only require an 8-ounce bowl of Cool Whip. Unless you just like it fluffy. I like it fluffy too. So I've drained the juice off. If it's healthy juice, then you give it to your pet. But if it's not and got a lot of sugar, don't give it to them. So I'm going to dump this in this bowl. Shake, 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 shake. They have only about 1 or 2 cherries in there. You want to break them up and cut them up so it can be evenly distributed. You can. My favorite ones is cherries. Believe it or not, I love cherries. I love cherries. I love cherries. So I'm going to break this up since this can did not give me a whole lot. Usually the off-brand, they're always like that. So I'm just going to cut this because they got them cut in halves. I'm going to cut it 4 ways. Because it's not that many in here. And I'm just gonna mix them up a little bit. Okay. Okay, the next thing, last time I didn't put coconut, but coconut is delicious too. You can get some dried coconut added in there. It is delicious. You can put it as much as you like, or you can just stick to like 1/4 of it. It's enough. Another thing I add in is walnuts. Sometimes I add it at the end, or I do it in the beginning. So I'm gonna add it in the beginning. How much you like the crunch, it depends on you. So right now, this is like 1/4. We're gonna see how 1/4 do. Then I have my marshmallows. Oh, don't we love marshmallows? You're not gonna use the whole bag for an 8-ounce can, because you don't want it to overwhelm. Maybe a half a bag. Okay, then now this is Cool Whip. This is the 8-ounce Cool Whip. It's the extra cream. You don't have to have the extra cream. They have different variation. They have light. It's your option. I'm gonna take this little plastic rim off. I hadn't closed my walnuts back up. These are chopped walnuts. You can use pecans. You can use both. Whichever one is your preference. The next thing is, oh, remember, Cool Whip always have recipes on the back. Fluffy fruity pie and mile high fudge brownie pie. This is the first time I've seen a different one. Usually it'd be the same one all the time. So that's 2 different ones I've never seen before. I usually give that to my pooch. You can give your dog Cool Whip. That's all they doing at Starbucks. I'm going to take 2 big old clumps and see how well it works. And I'm going to stir it in here. I usually put it in another bowl, but this is the bowl I'm going to leave it in. You wanted to make sure it's blended real well. You want to flip it and turn it in the Cool Whip. All the ingredients. And you want to make sure that you have a lid for it, because Cool Whip can dry out, will dry out if you leave it open without a covered lid. Some people like to see the fruit inside of it. I'm a person, I want to see more Cool Whip because I like the fluffy taste. And then when I bite, I want to taste the crunch in the fruit. This is a household treat, even though my mother made it on the holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving. But as I got older, I asked her would make it all throughout the year. So if I'm in the urge of eating it, you can have it like that. You can add a little bit more. Like I want a little bit more crunch. So I'm going to add some more walnuts. Another 1/4. And then I'm going to seal it away. Snap, close, tear off the excess. And then I'm going to put this in a container so it can stay fresh. It's always good to put your marshmallows in another container with a lid to keep them fresh so they won't dry out. So I'm going to stir this again. And I'm going to add a little bit more Cool Whip. But I want to make sure the walnuts are all throughout here. I taste the coconuts. I'm going to use all the 8-ounce. This time I usually leave my dog some, but this time I'm not. And you just mix it and mix it until it's fluffy. And put a nice lid on it. Delicious. Now, here's the meatloaf. I've already cooked it for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. I'm gonna place the rest of the sauce on top. And just let it drizzle. And I'm going to place it back in the oven and let it bake for like 20 minutes. So what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Not that though. And other stuff.